I don't have any more news on Goran or Bam. You already probably have a statement from TD. But regardless, the Lakers set, the tenor, the tone, the force, the physicality. For the majority of the game, and they just took control, and we weren't able to get it back.
First question here in the room, Tim, on the right.
Erik, you've been through a lot of these, and you know that game one it's often a feeling out game. And I mean, I think all three of the times you guys have won it, you've lost game one. But can this be a motivating point? Can this be just a wake up call, a dose of reality? Like, how would you? It's
high level competition. So you have to do things with force and detail. And it's the cliche, but every single possession counts. And there was too many possessions where it was either a poor offensive possession or a miss that led to a couple poor possessions defensively, or vice versa. Those stacked on top of each other can get away from you pretty quickly against a very good team like this. We're much better than we showed tonight. You do have to credit the Lakers, and we'll get to work.
For the next one.
Malik
Andrews.
Erik, could you just walk us through? It appeared so Goran left with 6:04-ish left in the second quarter. When did he exactly hurt himself? And it looked like if he did on the Rondo play, he stayed in for a little after, maybe to test it out. What was your recollection?
I don't know. Right now, I know he's as tough as anybody, and it's the finals. But I don't have an update. Where he is on his foot right now.
Making for the Lakers, but LeBron is back on the NBA's biggest stage for the 9th time in 10 years. He's ready. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's go. Lakers and Heat, game one coming up at 6 as the purple and gold return to the finals for the first time since 2010 in search of championship number 17. Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm Chris McGee, joined by the Hall of Famer, big game James Worthy, 7-time champion Robert Horry. Allie Clifton is here. Trudell is here down the hall. Brez is working remotely. I just had to get that out, and you guys have been with me since the beginning, so I was speaking for you as well. Had to get it out. Felt good.
You know what you get for that, Gator?
What do you get?
You get a little pregame.
Okay, I've never seen a pregame.
Pregame, first one ever, baby.
We had not showed you that yet.
Man, you were speaking from the heart, and you were speaking for a lot of people who have been waiting for this very moment. Last year, we were, shortchanged a little bit. LeBron only had 55 games. Fast forward, AD comes in, new coaching staff, defense. Guys started to gel around midseason. Unfortunately, they're in the bubble. That's the only thing I wish our fans could be, experiencing this. But I think they are in spirit. Here we are, Geeter. Have a chance to win 4 more games. And, it's like, what was that movie, Trading Places, where he said, Mortimer, we're back!
We're back at the very end. Rob, 7 times you've been in this position. Game one. What are the nerves? What are the feelings? The preparation comes down to this moment.
I think the nerves are a little different for each individual. I guarantee the nerves for AD is way higher than Rondo and LeBron.
Yeah.
Because those guys have been there, they know what to expect, and they know how to handle the situation. And with AD, this is something he wanted so bad. This is what this is the reason he came to LA. The reason he wanted to be traded to LA was to get to the NBA Finals. I know it's not the same magnitude because they're in the bubble. You're not driving up to Staples. You're not hearing those fans. You're not hearing all these people talking. And you don't have millions and millions of press there to try to distract you. So it's a little difference, but I know the nerves are there. He's so excited. He probably didn't get any sleep last night.
Yeah.
But I know the rest of the guys, LeBron is focused, playoff Rondo is focused. But then you go to guys like AC Fresh, who, think about this, AC Fresh is probably not even supposed to be in the NBA. Nobody ever thought he would be in the NBA, but he fought hard to get this position. Now he's in position to be on the biggest stage and win the ultimate goal. That's the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
I mean, you won a national championship, but here you are in 84 in your first finals. 85, you're in the finals. 87, the nerves, that game one, were they the same? Different.
Well, you know, a championship game is a championship game. You know, I remember in '82 in college, you know, the nerves, they weren't that different. The stakes were a little higher. You know, you have a little bit more pressure on you at the NBA level. You're under the microscope, so I think that pressure is warranted. But for somebody like AD, not to say he didn't have a chance in New Orleans, but his chances weren't that great in New Orleans. Now he's supposed to win. It's a big difference than, you know, having a chance and you're supposed to win. So I think it's a little bit more pressure on him, but thank goodness he has the king, you know,
by his side
to kind of ease his mind, get him ready, and have him know what to expect in the finals.
Big game. And Rob, I want you to take a look at the Larry O'Brien trophy we have right there. Rob, obviously you've held up the trophy 7 times. James, this happens to be from the Lakers 1988. You were the MVP in that series. Rob said, you don't need to bring in any of my 7.
No, you know, MVP, triple dub, you know, that's the best right there for this guy right here.
It was a big year before you guys hit the triple dub. That was the first time in like 19, 20 years.
MVP, James.
That had been back-to-back. So mission accomplished.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals will tip off at 6. For the latest, let's check in with Lakers reporter Mike Trudell. Michael! It's the finals.
Oh, man, it's the finals. So my first year with the Lakers was 2008. They won the title that year later in 2009 and then repeated the next year. And I thought, okay, yeah, this is what it's like to work for the Lakers, of course, right? That's what the franchise has done forever. And then I think that Laker fans here learned what it's like for much of the rest of the NBA, except that the expectation is always constantly there for the purple and gold ever since they moved to Los Angeles, and rightfully so. And it's hard to understand if you're not here in this little bubble. Now, speaking of the bubble that the Lakers are in Orlando, I wanted to know from Frank Vogel, what's the top thing on the scouting report with this Miami Heat team, right? It's time to talk some basketball, trying to get into the nitty-gritty here ahead of Game 1, which tips off soon. So here's Frank talking about what is number 1 on the Miami scouting report.
They're great at getting to the free throw line, and you know, if we can play with discipline, you know, not give them opportunities to shoot free throws, set their defense, you know, that'll help us win games because they're great at the free throw line.
Yeah, Frank, hey, it's Bill Plaschke. Is there an increase in the buzz down there at all? Does it feel different now that it's in the finals?
Slightly, but not as much as you would typically expect for the NBA Finals. We just sat in traffic for some, you know, soccer moms waiting to pull into the little soccer tournament, pulling over there. So you know, that didn't feel like the NBA Finals. There's only a handful of media members here in person. I know that's very different what the NBA Finals look like, but there is a little bit of an uptick for sure, yes.
Coach, any chance you'd like to reveal your starting center for tonight?
No thanks.
Well, what challenges does Miami present for a 2-big lineup? If you go to it, whenever you go to it, what kind of challenges with their lineup?
Well, just spacing. You know, they run a lot of action. They're great at driving, kicking. They're not a team that really isolates a lot. So, you know, it's not about, you know, having our 5-man deal with a 3-point shooter and trying to just double team the ISO. You know, it's a great ball movement offense. So, you know, puts a lot of pressure on 5s to run around a 3-point line, opens up space in the paint.
Allison, back to you.
How good?
Learn my lesson. Frank, before the playoffs started, I think you talked about something Lionel Hollins did with a video about Kobe. I was wondering if there was anything sort of similar that you guys do in your preparation or inspiration for this series as when you guys are pretty close to the goal line.
We do have a video. It's not really Kobe related. Just something to get our guys a little bit hyped up right before we go out. Nothing special. It's about us and our season.
All right, guys, I also asked Frank just what he observed from the players in terms of focus, if that had taken a jump up from the Western Conference playoffs. And he said, yes, a little bit, but this team has been locked in since the second that the playoffs started. Since the second that Game 1 started against Portland, there has been one focus, one goal. Geeter, you're looking at one of them that Big Game James helped win. MVP, of course, in '88. That's what they're playing for, man. They've been locked in the whole time, and now they get to start against the Miami Heat in the finals.
Mike, between you, me, Rob, and James, 10 Larry O'Brien trophies.
Exactly.
Have a great series, Mike.
Yeah. Good way
Thanks
to
for
put it,
that.
Geeter.
We'll hear from you later, buddy. All right, plenty more ahead here on Access Sportsnet. Lakers, Rajon Rondo.